All right, so welcome everyone to the fifth meetup of testing board. So, testing board, we are going in this meetup we are going to discuss what is this meetup about, how to join. Then we are going to have our talks by speakers. So we are going to talk about Katalon Studio for Web introduction by Abhishek Roy. And next we are going to have Docker with Selenium by Thrumalli. After this talk, I'm going to give the introduction about the other websites of a software testing board, and later I'm going to talk about the LinkedIn page that you can follow, and meetup.com where you can RSVP, and also I'll be explaining how to be a speaker at the next meetup. So what is this meetup about? So this meetup is completely online meetup, and the reason why we have online, because earlier we used to have a physical meetup where people come physically and then join us, but then it was a lot of content, like many people join because of the travel, so the time constraint, so we made it completely online. So this meetup happens every fourth Saturday of the month at 5 p.m. IST. Usually the agenda of this meetup is people will who is working in the software testing domain talk to you about uh, the tools, technology, any framework that they are working on. So it will just make you aware that what are the different tools and technology available, and that you can learn it further and explore. So how do you join this meetup? So to join this meetup, you can go to softwaretestingboard.com/meetups. Here is the meetups page, softwaretestingboard.com/meetups, and you can see you see ongoing button on there. You can click on this ongoing button, and it will take you to the meetups page. So here you can see the live stream. You can just click on play button and live stream over here. And during the meetup, if you have any question, box comment box where you can put your comment, and I'll read out this question to the speaker. So this is how you interact with the speaker. So today's talk is we have talk on a Katalon Studio for web by Abhishek Roy. He is a senior test automation engineer at Global Logic, Delhi, India, and also we have added his LinkedIn profile. So you can, if you have any question or anything you want to get in touch after the meetup, you can get in touch with him. So over to you, Abhishek. You can continue with the discussion now.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Abhishek and I have a 4.8 experience in QA. So today we are going to discuss about the what is Katalon. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm my screen is visible.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. So starting, the main thing is what is Katalon. Katalon is a automation framework. By using this, you can automate web, mobile, and API. This is open source, not exactly open source. This is a freeware, and anyone just you have to download it and you can start testing. It's very easy. The thing is why Katalon. It's freeware, easy to set up and run. It's having a great feature of record and play. If suppose you want to automate anything, you just record it using Chrome on Firefox, and you can by playing you can execute the test cases in any browsers. It's having integration with the Git, Jenkins, Jira, SourceLab, Grid browser, and many more browsers you're having. Uh, Automatically, it manages your test cases is based on fully form, and any type of web page you can automate using the Katalon. And now to talk about the setup. So for this, I'm going to reach on the main page, how, from where you can download the Katalon and all. This is the main site from where you can download the Katalon. Just you have to go to the download. At the first, you have to create your account. If you have created, just click download now and it will download. If you are using Windows, then definitely you will get a exe file, and if you are going using Mac, you will get a DMG file. And this is the interface of the Katalon. Here I have recorded one test cases. So for you, I'm going to create a new project. Simply write the project name. So now I'm able to create the page. Just so whenever you create a page, then definitely you will get this folder structure. In test case, you have to create one test case, and by clicking this, you can record the URL. For now, suppose this one, and by clicking this, the browser will open. You can see that whatever I'm writing, automatically capturing. However, I have already created one project here. This is my project, and I have recorded all these things. We're having manual and scripting interface. When we're using the scripting thing, then you can see every event is captured. This. Here is opening a browser. You are navigating to the page, and these are the elements we captured in the object repository. Actually, we recorded this thing in the Chrome browser. If suppose you want to execute in the Firefox, we can execute it. It's very easy. Anyone can start with automation, and in very less time you can start automation. You can see the logs here. You can see the logs. Taking too much time. Don't know why. can see the logs. You verifying the element, you get to URL, then verify it, then click it to the format letter, and then
You guys there? Hello.
Yep.
So is the
Yeah,
presentation
Abhishek, any
passed?
question?
No, Mayur, like, so is the presentation passed? I could see only one screen here, the home screen.
Abhishek, is that hello?
You got disconnected.
Okay. Okay, then let's do it this way. We can continue with you now, and once he is back, ask him to continue where he left over. Make sense?
Yeah, so it's
Hello,
just you
Thiru.
and me.
Yeah, we have other people who are online. They'll ask your questions to you directly then. So let me know once you can see my screen. You
Okay.
see my screen? Okay.
Yeah, good.
So looks like Abhishek is disconnected. So we have Tirumalai who is going to talk about Selenium with Docker. That is next, and he's a test automation architect at Cognizant, Reading, UK. His LinkedIn profile. So if you have any question, you can talk to him. Tirumalai, you want to go continue? I'll share. I'll make you the presenter. I can share your screen and continue the.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. You are presenter now, Tiru.
So are you able to view my screen?
It is dark here still.
Is it fine now?
No, it is still dark. It's visible now.
Visible now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I believe like these days we come across this name called Docker. So let me start so what is Docker and what exactly its
Your
purpose?
your screen is back to dark, Thiru.
Is it fine now, Mayur?
Yeah, this is fine.
So you're able to view my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll continue. So let me start about this Docker. Okay. So these days, we have this, not these days, like since last 5 6 years. So we find Docker overcoming virtual machines, where it is taking a good role in case of clouds like AWS or Google's cloud. So basically, Docker, what I'll say is like it is a replacement for the virtual machines. So Docker is nothing but, say for example, a developer, he wants to build this application. So which means he wants to build this front end application. So we know there is a server which is involved in it, and he has his code. He has lots of dependencies, libraries. So what happens is he uses this file called Docker file, which is a build file. So he writes in this file what all is needed, and he builds this Docker file. And this Docker file, when it runs inside a container. So container is nothing but the runtime instance of this Docker file. This Docker file, apart from other meta information of Docker, together they form a image. So it is something similar to an virtual machine's image, but there are lots of difference. In case of virtual machine, so we have an operating system which needs to be installed. We need to explicitly install all its libraries, its dependencies, and we have to make sure it has been properly maintained. It is going to consume a lot of space in your RAM as well as in your hard disk. So all these things will be overcome in case of Docker. It will be easy to build a Docker image. You can ship and run any application in a container, which will be a runtime instance of an image. So if you want to close it, if you want to stop it, just stop the container so everything goes back to normal. So you need not maintain it like how you maintain an image. No need any specific platform support in terms of DevOps. So it'll be easy to maintain. So I will give you the difference between a Docker and the virtual machine. So you could see here the basic difference is a Docker uses the kernel of the operating system, the host operating system. But in case of virtual machine, so you need to explicitly install a guest operating system inside a virtual machine so that the guest operating system is going to take care of any kind of operations or process inside your VM. But in case of Docker, it is nothing but it is going to be the host machine's client. So it'll be very simple here. Another thing is it's going to consume very limited RAM. So if you want to see just spin up a container, open your activity monitor and see how much RAM your Docker is going to consume. So it will be less than 2 GB. If you're going to have an n number of containers, nearly 20 to 30 in your machine, so it is going to consume very little. And in terms of the images, for sure, an image will at least need some 1 GB of memory. But in case of Docker, it is not like that. It's just a file, just 2 MB or something like that. And the rest all, it is a maintenance and how long it is going to take Docker to spin it up. It will happen just in seconds, not like VM. VM takes a lot of time. It has to build, it has to install the operating system. So everything is involved in it. So this Docker So when we see about its benefits, so what happens is like these Selenium guys, so they want to make the testers benefited by using this Docker such a way. So we have a grid. So they want to set up a grid inside a Docker container. So they want to set up a grid hub, a grid node. So the benefit here is if you're going to have a grid in your local machine, a normal grid, or you're going to have a basic test execution in a normal way. So you trigger a script, and what happens is like the browser pops up, and you have to just sit and observe until the test case finishes and the browser gets closed. So you will not have any options to work on anything else until the execution is done. Okay, so the case is same in case of setting up a grid as well. Still, you set up a grid in your local machine. You cannot do anything else. You need to wait for the grid test execution to be completed and make your grid free. In case of the first and second, the common drawback is we will not be having access to perform any other action. In case of the second, you have to spend a lot of memory, the RAM, it is consumed a lot. But when it comes to Docker, so what Docker does is like it spins up your node, your hubs as a separate process inside a container, which will be governed by the Docker client. So it is not going to pop up something. It will be just a service which will be running in your background. So this advantage made the Selenium people to come up with lots of images for Selenium Hub, Selenium nodes. So I can give you you can find the examples of various images for Selenium in GitHub. So you can search for the project name Docker Selenium or Selenium Docker, something like that, and you will find lots of images and setup instructions how you can do it. So, okay, you want me to show how Docker works, Mayur?
Yeah, it would be great if you can show us.
Okay, then let me share my entire screen.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a project, Docker Selenium. So you can find images for Hub. You can find various images for
Are you sharing
Chrome.
your screen?
I think so.
No, your screen is not shared.
You couldn't see anything, or
No, I
you
can.
see a
We can't say
different.
anything.
Okay.
Yes, this is visible now.
Okay. So this is a project which we can find in GitHub. So it is Docker Selenium. Here you
Okay.
will be to find the code, the images like Hub, Chrome Node. For now, like Docker is supporting only. I mean, Selenium Docker it does support only Chrome and Firefox. JS, but it has been deprecated on latest versions of Selenium. So I'm not sure about it, but you can give it a try. So you have a
So
different.
what is the project? It's under Selenium HQ, Docker Selenium, right?
You can just Google for Docker Selenium.
Okay.
Oh, I can ping you here. Okay. So
Sure.
you have the wiki page as well. So where you will be having access or information about the various ways you can control the Docker. There are a lot many, at least in specific to Selenium Grid. So there are like few like Docker Compose. You have Docker Swarm. So if you want more information, like you can see how you can use a compass or a swarm, which actually adds more values in terms of using the Docker. If you want to build a highly sophisticated grid, so then you have to go
Mhm.
for a compass or a swarm. Okay.
Okay.
So so I am using Docker in various ways. um, so the very basic one is you can just start a Docker hub and start a couple of nodes if you want. I can show you the
Okay.
commands. So I just started a, okay, it is already allocated. So in Docker, like we have this, sorry. So we have this Kitematic, so which is kind of an add-on to the Docker client. So it will help you to, it is a GUI which will show you what are all the containers physically available, images, up and running containers, all those information. So I have lots of
That is
containers.
optional, right?
This is open source, yeah.
Okay. So that, and it's optional, right?
See, it is up
I mean that
to it just gives a convenient way of visualizing the containers. If not, like we have to do it from the command prompt, like
got it.
Docker container ps something, yeah, ps. So I could see the similar containers which are up and running. You can go
Sure.
for Docker images, yeah. So people who are new to Docker, so when I was starting for the first time, like this was very comfortable for me to use.
Got it.
And you can even debug the, not debug, change the environment variables from here. If not, you have to do it from the command prompt. Say for example, like I have a Selenium hub. Let me start it. But this GUI is really slow.
Okay.
I'm sorry, like I'm meeting your time. Just give me a sec.
No problem. You can take your time. You can wait.
Okay, I'll do it from here. Okay, if you see,
Hmm.
so what I'm doing is I'm running a Docker command to run in a detached mode. Minus D is detached, which means like it runs as a separate process. Okay, and
Okay.
inside Docker, so we have the port number 4444 for the Selenium hub. I am casting that particular port to my host machine export. So you can see here 4444 and 4444. So I'm making it what do you call, like intractable. I'm giving a link to it, and I'm
Right.
trying to build the image which is Selenium Hub, and its version is 3.6.0.
Got it.
So if I do this, yeah, so you can see like it started the particular image. Since the image is already there in my machine, it will not download it. If you go for a different version, I don't know whether we do have this version. Yeah, so you can see unable to find the image. So if I just scroll, I'll be saving it in my locker. Oh no, let's forget about that. So I started an image and container, and you can see the container here. And when I check, okay, so I have my hub. I haven't got any node registered. So the next thing is like, let me start a node.
Hmm.
So usually like when you trigger a Docker and something is trigger an image and something is getting executed inside a container, so you will not have access to view it. But
Okay.
Selenium Docker project, it comes with a debug node where we are casting a particular port which it can be viewed through VNC viewer. So what I'm doing here is like I'm making use of Finance01, which is VNC's port to the casted for the Docker. I'm linking to it, and I'm linking the Docker hub to the node image. The node image, once it gets built, it links to the Docker hub. That's what I'm doing here. So this is
Okay.
done, and you can see the node. Yeah, one. If you want
Nice.
to increase the number of Chrome browsers or add anything to it, it can be done in two ways. Either you need to specify the environment variable, its number
Hmm.
from the command. This Kitematic will help you. So what you're going to do is, so this is my node. So you go to settings and you can find
Hmm.
all its params. So you just change it to 5 and save this. So what it happens is like it will stop the node and it will restart it again. And now you must be able to see it. 5 nodes.
Right. You can see that.
So this is one way
That's
of,
great.
sorry, okay. So
This
this
is
is
good.
one way of, yeah. So this is one way of manually launching the Docker containers for Hub and Node. If you want this to be automated or made in a fashion, so whenever a script gets triggered, so what will happen is like if the hub is already up and running, so we'll point it to the hub and it executes a script inside the hub and the node, the grid. There is another way to do it where you can use something called a Docker compass.
Okay.
So inside this Docker compass, so you have to write what all is needed for you. Sorry. Yeah, okay. So this is a Docker compass, which is a .yml file. So Docker compass compass in Docker, like we have three entities. It is a Docker itself, which is a basic client, and we have another component which is called as Docker Compose, and there is another component which is called as Docker Swarm, M for Mango. So this Docker Compass, it is something. So you, instead of doing one after the other, so you predefine like what all the systems need, how many containers, what are its images, everything in one single place. So here, so I have Selenium Hub, and I use an image here which is a Selenium Hub image, and I have a node image which is Chrome, and I have a number of Chrome images. Even though it is going to be the same, so its name and definition is different. So I'm doing the same which I did it through the command hub. I'm casting the port and giving the maximum session as 40 or something,
Okay.
and Chrome nodes with 5 instances. And this volume is something which you need to understand. So what I'm trying to do is, instead of storing the runtime data inside the container, I'm storing it outside the container, which will be my machine, the host machine. So
Okay.
so what I'm doing here is I write this particular compass file, and I have that inside my project. Now let me go and close all this existing containers. So you could see nothing here, got nothing. In my project, so I have used a plugin called as a Docker Compose plugin, so which helps me to trigger any compass file. And compass file, so whatever you, there are like few compass commands, like if you go and check. Mm,
Hmm.
Compass. So got a man or something, I don't know. So there are like various activities. The main activity is up, which triggers a Docker YML file, creates and starts containers, and down is something which stops and remove containers, networks, images, and volumes. So anything. So so what I have done is I have used this plugin. I can even show you that. Compass. Even what is this? Key- key- Okay, this is a guy. I'll give you the group ID. You can find it from here. Okay. So he's a guy. Uh, I don't know how you
Okay.
pronounce it. This is Docker Compose plugin. So what basically I'm doing is I have two execution lifecycle here. So one is the up, which will trigger a container, starts and trigger a container and its image using its image, and down
Hmm.
it's going to put it down and kills all the images, volumes or something. So I have a Maven execution. So I have an integration test phase of my Maven, which gets triggered using failsafe plugin. So I have a pre-integration test which ups my grid, and I have a post-integration test which kills my grid. So when I run my test execution command, don't please forget about the results of the execution. Just observe the way the grid gets started and closes.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts all my Docker containers using these images, and you can see my grid got built. Yeah, and this execution will take time. So basically, what it does is like I kill the execution. So on end of the execution, so it is going to kill the entire grid. So there's another way of using it. So whichever the way helpful for you, the way you want it, you can do it. Still, if you want to extend the grid, a much more better performance grid, because like I can find case studies where people use 200 nodes. I mean, sorry, 200 Chrome, maybe 5 in each, which is 50 nodes with one single hub, or two, three hubs using Docker Swarm. So Docker Swarm have a concept of being a manager, a hub, and lots of nodes working under it as workers. So it is a manager worker architecture. So you'll find a lot of information in Docker sites. You can make use of those.
Sure.
I think like this is pretty much what. If you got any doubts, you can please ask for it.
Yeah. So let me share my screen and I'll let users share any questions if they have.
Mm-hmm.
So helps for online. You can use this comment box and you can post your question here. Apart from that, you will also see a chat box where you can type your question and I'll read it to the I'll read it to the we are still online for a while. If you have questions, you can ask here and then we'll answer all your questions.
Okay.
Okay. So thanks, Thiru. Thank you so much for your time. Questions from people. Meanwhile, I'll just also talk about different question software testing board sites that we have. So we
Mm-hmm.
have a question and answer site for software testing professionals where okay, I guess we got one question. So this is a question uh, we have a question from online user and there does it support all the browsers?
The Docker Selenium, no. For now, like it supports Chrome and Firefox, and
Okay.
JS, which is a headless JS. I mean, it is a headless browser.
Okay. Okay. So that's all for now we have. So so this is a question and answer site for software testing professionals where you can come and ask a question, register over here, and you can. This is a very simple question answer site, no distraction, no discussion. Forum. If you are facing any problem during your software testing work, you can come and ask a question. People online community who will answer. We have that will be answering that. To 500 plus registered users, and for every time you do any action, like you ask a question or you answer a question or anything, you will get a points. So this will make sure you get a better answers for all your questions that you have. And apart from that, we also have a meetup site. So this meetup site that you joined today, uh, You can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. Apart from that, you can sign up for these meetups. That will be there at softwaretestingboard.com/meetups. Page, you can subscribe to there. You can follow there, and you can see all the updates that are coming from us. The link is already mentioned. You can also RSVP, join, register for our meetup.com page, where you'll be getting notified about every new meetup that we are organizing, apart from the LinkedIn, and also any new messages that we are posting on our meetups page. If you sign up there, you'll be able to get the notification.
Mhm.
So that's all for now. This is our contact page. So if you have any other question or anything, you can go to softwaretestingboard.com/contact us. And we are also available on social media. We already explained about LinkedIn, Twitter, and this is our slide share page,
Mhm.
software testing board. So separated by F1, and we already explained you about the meetup.com page. So we tried to talk to Abhishek, but looks like he has got some network issue. So we will try to accommodate him on the next slot. Thank you so much, everybody who's online and asked a question. Thiru, thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much you joined us on these odd hours. We understand that you'll be a little late over there. So thank you so much, and hope to see you.
Yeah, sure, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.